Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. It's Tuesday night, February the 7th, and these are the charts of the day. Well, I indicated to you yesterday that I wanted to go over some of the boxer shorts, but when I ran over the list today and I look where the market's at, I just don't think it's ready yet. Now, when we get the break, I'll start to look at them more seriously, but I think we're being frustrating ourselves with shorts when the market isn't quite yet ready to get hammered and roll over. When it does, we have plenty of time. So let's start off with the stocks that still look pretty interesting here and some of our current swing trades. If you take a look at SMSI, you'll see that in the course of the last few sessions, let's eliminate some of the noise here, that the stock, which had run up into resistance zone, consolidated and coiled very nicely in low volume, exploded yesterday and followed through very nicely today, up another 31 cents or 14%, 2.9 million traded even heavier than yesterday's 2.2 million, and that's a real good sign for a move up towards my $3 to $3.10 target. PZZI had a significant day as earnings came out after the close. The stock ran in anticipation. I think they were pretty good. The stock closed up 12% or 66 cents on 321,000, which is the biggest volume it's traded, believe it or not, since mid-December. So a nice move there. And if you look at the channel, the way this thing is drawn on a longer term basis, you'll see that possibilities exist. We could see this in the high single digits, even 10 down the road if it gets going and takes out the high. But we did have a significant breakout from a trading range today. KTCC, very, very strong momentum after the explosive running gap last week. And then a pullback for a couple of days as volume dissipated. And the unbalanced volume kept going up. Money stream and balance of power looked real good. And today the stock ripped from 905 to 1030, close to 1020, up $1, almost 11%. Nearly 400,000 traded. That's good volume for that stock, and it wouldn't shock me to see 11.5 or even 12.5 short term. Solar Winds, I wanted to show you this chart because I believe it's achieved or close to it, achieved my target in that 38.9 zone, getting up to 37.38 today. Backed off a point, still was up 309 or 9%, 6.5 million, big volume there. So we may very well see it carry forward a little bit more towards 38.5 to 40, but at this point, be careful with it and do not let it go below today's low of 34.38. Keep that underneath that level for a stop. Mags, we've been talking about this for a while. There's large wedges formed, but today it jumped 35%. Now only 87,000 shares traded, and yet that's the biggest volume in a couple weeks. So let's see if it accelerates through this line and volume really accelerates, and we get this up to my near-term target of 5.5 and then 6.5. XIDE, XIDE, very nice action today, accelerated, and is now moving up towards what looks like a destiny or a date with 5 as a target. Leapfrog, a nice move today. You can notice that the flag here was broken recently, accelerated up to the target, to resistance at the prior highs in December, stalled there for a day, popped through yesterday and accelerated today to take out secondary resistance as well and closed 1 cent off the high for the day at 49 cents or 7.75%, and 1.8 million traded. That's the biggest volume in about 2 months. So it looks like we could extend and accelerate up towards 8.25.5, my near-term target. Keep an eye on that one for a swing trade potentially. Speaking of breakouts today, Netlist surprisingly moved for the 4th consecutive day out of this little wedge and moved up and through the spike reversal high we reached at 396 back in November, before Thanksgiving. So you can see how long the stock's been consolidating here. And with today's close above resistance at 405, up 29 cents or 7.7%, with the biggest volume since early December, we may very well see my $5 target reach as soon as the next day or so. ENTR, Entropic, we had a swing trade buy here. It reversed the next day, but held support and ran right back up today, 40 cents or almost 6%. 2.6 million traded, and the stock appears to maybe have righted itself and could accelerate here into the 8.5 zone. Corinthian Colleges went all the way up to 504 today, reached my initial target. We do have a swing trade target up around 596, so I would expect that to continue potentially, but there is some resistance right up in the zone. Nevertheless, very nice action on Cocoa. HDSN, I'm only showing you this because of the pattern, which is extremely strong here. Let's eliminate some of this noise here. and you'll see that it's up in the key resistance zone, but nice reversal today from 294 to 328, closed a penny off the low, up 3.8%. Now, you can see how extended on a short-term basis this is, having gone from 135 to 328, nearly tripling in a very short period of time. If you look at a long-term chart on Hudson, you'll see that there's massive overhead resistance in this zone up here. Multi-year chart going back 13 years, a big base, which if taken out could lead to a very big move. This stock can support, this base can support a very large move into the high single digits for double or even triple here. Glue, still like this pattern I'm seeing here. The development of this head and shoulders then faded to retest, but then spiked up. Now today it moved down in the morning to 369, only to close 2 cents off the high at 395. Up a dime or 2.6%, but after the close, earnings came out. They were good. We should see some additional upside, and I wouldn't be surprised to see 5 short-term. 495, 490 to 5 zone. RAX, our swing trades working well. Today up another $1.22 or 2.5%, 4.1 million. And you can see how the technicals are surging and as the stock breaks out over across this key resistance zone. Now the major long-term top, if we look at this pattern here, is calling for a move that can take this into the high 60s. So, you know, I'm not going to use that as a target, but I will say that's the long-term potential. And the short-term potential is up around the low 50s, maybe even mid-50s. Stamps.com doing very well, up against the spike high from October in this zone here, reaching 33.25 today. My target was about 33.5, 3/4 short term. Secondary target up around 39.40. I'll still hold that as a target. I wanted to finally put TiVo on my list, and here's why. Let's take a look at some of them. Let's take out some of the noise here. And you can see that TiVo basically is in a position where after a long base pattern has developed, it's finally moved up and through it. Take a look at that. A volume has suddenly moved up a little bit and the stock spiked through, came down and retest and reversed today from 1137 to 1181, closing 4 cents off the high. But I believe that this could be the beginning of a new move, and we'll see whether we can get through the spike high up here around 1090, excuse me, at 1265, that is. And that would be my ultra short-term target. But if we get through that, it wouldn't shock me to see it in the mid-teens. And lastly, today is MyTech, which moved up after consolidating here for about 3.5 weeks. After hours was trading at 935, up about 45-50 cents. And it wouldn't shock me after earnings came out and a nice conference call that this stock makes it up to the declining top sign around 11. That's my short-term target. And that's your ideas for tonight. Talk to you tomorrow with hopefully some box of shorts to discuss.